I was walking down a quiet London street, the kind of grey, drizzly morning that made the whole city feel like it was tucked under a damp quilt. My mind wandered like it often did lately. I'm 65, married to Nathan for 4 decades. Kind, steady, gentle Nathan. And don't misunderstand me, kindness is lovely. But lovely doesn't set your pulse racing. Lovely doesn't make you ache. Lovely just exists. And lately, I had been asking myself if just exists was still enough. Anyway, I was lost in thought, my sensible shoes tapping along the pavement when I spotted him. A young man, maybe 23, leaning against a red brick wall like he owned it. Tousled hair, worn-out leather jacket, and wait. Seriously? He was relieving himself. Whistling. Right there in the open. I froze momentarily, my brain short-circuiting. I should have been appalled. I should have turned around, crossed the road, tossed a judgmental glare his way. But instead I kept walking toward him. Why? Had no idea. Maybe it was the way he stood there, so unbothered, like he didn't care who saw. Maybe it was the way he looked like someone out of a forgotten French film. Or maybe it was because, for the first time in years, I felt something besides content. As I got closer, I said it softly, like I was testing my own voice. "Excuse me." He jumped slightly, zipped up quickly, and our eyes met. For a second, he looked like a kid caught sneaking sweets. Then he grinned. "Sorry, my fault," he said, voice rough and amused. Here's the strange bit. I didn't look away. I held his gaze longer than was polite. Longer than it should have been. There was something about him. The way he stood like he had nothing to apologize for. The way he looked at me like I wasn't invisible. Was wrong. And exhilarating. And exhilarating because it was wrong. I finally pulled my eyes away and kept walking. What had just happened? So yes, that happened. And before anyone starts judging, let me be clear. I wasn't some restless housewife chasing a fantasy. I was a woman who'd spent 40 years in a marriage that had been fine. It was fine. But for the rest of that walk home, all I could think about was him. The way he smirked like he knew a secret. The way his hands. "No, stop it, Grace." At home, Nathan greeted me the same as always. "Hey Grace, where have you been?" "Just out walking," I replied, hanging up my coat. He'd made breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. Sweet gesture. And I appreciated it truly. But as I sat at the table, I felt something I didn't expect. Not guilt. Not really. It was amusement. Because while Nathan stirred honey into his tea, I was thinking about a stranger's hands braced against a wall. Silly. My heart was just being ridiculous. Nathan kissed my forehead and left for work. The moment the door clicked shut, I did what any dignified woman in my position might do. I spent the next hour scrolling through photos of attractive men online. Just a bit of harmless distraction. Nothing wrong with admiring art. But the next day something changed. I set out for my usual walk, and as I turned the corner, there he was again. Same spot. Same situation. I paused, watching him for a second. He hadn't seen me yet. I could have walked away. But where's the fun in that? Are you tired of fine? Are you ready for something unscripted? Your moment could be right around the corner. I stepped forward, hands buried in my coat pockets. "You really like this spot for your business, huh?" He jerked upright, startled. "Damn, caught again." Then, after a beat, he smirked. Déjà vu. The universe glitching. I laughed, genuinely. A full, unfiltered laugh. I hadn't even realized I was flirting. Flirting with a guy I caught midstream. What was wrong with me? I walked away, chuckling to myself. What a ridiculous encounter. My house was only a few doors away, and before heading inside, I bent down to check my plants. One of the leaves had tiny holes. Caterpillars, probably. I sighed, fingers brushing the edges. That's when I felt it. That sensation of being watched. I glanced up. There he was again, strolling past, hands in his pockets. He paused. "Oh, you live here." I straightened, wiping dirt from my hands. "Thought I just roamed the neighborhood scoping out exhibitionists." He laughed, a bit caught off guard. I leaned in slightly, voice lowered. "You know," I said, tilting my head, "I was thinking about you." He raised an eyebrow. "Yeah, ma'am," I replied innocently, wondering how you'd manage without a wall to brace against. He blinked, clearly thrown. Then he chuckled, brushing hair from his eyes. "You're dangerous." Shrugged. "Only to men with weak bladders." That made him laugh, really laugh. "In my defense," he said, "sometimes nature's urgent." "Or maybe," I countered, "you just like an audience." His jaw dropped slightly. Then he laughed, shaking his head. "You're something else." "Grace," I corrected, "since we're on such intimate terms." "Grace," he repeated, tasting it slowly. "Nice to meet you. I'm Adam." Just then the front door opened. "Nathan." Right on cue. Nathan eyed us, brow raised. Adam recovered fast. "Well," he said, stepping back, "guess I'll see you around." "Oh, I'm counting on it," I said, sweet as sugar. Adam grinned, gave a slight shake of his head, and strolled off. Nathan looked at me. "Who was that?" I waved a hand. "Just a young guy asking for change." Nathan frowned. "Didn't seem homeless." "You know these boys," I said. "Always in need of something." Nathan accepted that without question. 'Cause of course he did. He was nice. Nice. And maybe that was the issue. Inside, Nathan gave me a look over his coffee. Warm, eager. We ended up in bed. He was enthusiastic, like unwrapping a gift he'd opened 1,000 times before. And it was fine. Predictable. Afterward I lay still, staring at the ceiling. Nathan in bed was like a ready-made meal. Fast, safe, uninspired. Technically satisfying. But it left no aftertaste. I wanted risk. I wanted to feel something dangerous. And that young man with his careless charm. I couldn't get him out of my head. It was wrong. But it felt startlingly right. The next morning I walked again. Hope buzzed just beneath my skin. Would he be there? But when I reached the corner, no sign of him. Just an empty street. I lingered a moment, pretending to adjust my heel, scan the distance. Still nothing. Faint. I wasn't looking for him anyway. I headed home. Didn't go inside immediately. I knelt by the plants again, running fingers over damp leaves. Any excuse to stall. Then movement caught my eye. There he was, walking toward me this time. And interestingly, he didn't stop in his usual place. As he passed, he said, "Hey, Grace. How's it going?" I leaned on the fence, amused. "Didn't take a leak today." His eyes widened before laughter spilled out. I handed him my water bottle. "Here. Stay hydrated." He took it, still grinning. "Didn't know you enjoyed the show." I raised a brow. "I care about public health." He sipped slowly, watching me. "So considerate." "So," he asked, "do you always hand out water to strange men?" I pretended to ponder. "Only the reckless ones." "That's so." He tilted his head. "You got any bad habits, Grace?" I stepped closer, voice dropping. "A few." He swallowed. "Yeah. And you," I said, smirking, "couldn't handle them." He chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck. I turned toward the door. "Why don't you come in? Breakfast?" He hesitated. I leaned into the frame. "Afraid of a little toast." He sighed. "What the hell?" He followed me in. I tossed him a knife. "You're chopping onions." He laughed. "Didn't know I'd be on prep duty." I leaned in. "It's not duty. I want your flavor in the food." He paused mid-slice. Looked at me. Something flickered. We cooked like it was familiar. My hand guided his over the pan. "Like this." We stirred together. Silence stretched. Breakfast smelled like mischief. We ate. But the hunger wasn't just for food. Then came beers. Morning beers. Bad influence, he teased. You'll live, I replied. In the living room, I tossed him a blanket edge. Join me. He did. We watched a film. An older woman, a younger man. How fitting. I asked. You think she's taking advantage? He smiled. Could be the other way around. And you? Asked. If you were in that man's place, I'd be fine, he said softly. The tension was rich. I leaned in. Kissed him. He kissed back. We didn't stop. Not until the couch was tangled and we were gasping. Then I pulled back. You need to go. He blinked. Now, I said. Before Nathan. The door, he paused. See you, Grace. And he was gone. I fixed the cushions, caught my breath. The door creaked. Nathan. Hey, sweetheart. Smiled. Just another ordinary day.